The guard's hand clamped around her arm, his voice slicing through the lobby like a verdict. "People like you don't belong here." Laughter rippled from the desk, the receptionist smirking as phones tilted higher, capturing her humiliation. She stood silent, unshaken, while insults flew like daggers. What no one knew was that this intruder owned every marble tile beneath their feet. In minutes, their arrogance would crumble, their badges would fail, and the woman they tried to erase would end their careers forever. The revolving glass doors spun shut behind Evelyn Carter, her orange blazer catching the lobby's fluorescent light. She carried nothing but a slim folder, her stride measured, her presence unyielding. Yet the moment she stepped onto the marble floor, eyes narrowed. The security guard, Mason Gray, planted himself in her path, boots striking heavy against the stone. "ID now," he barked, already frowning. Evelyn paused, her voice calm. "I'm here for the board meeting." Gray's lips curled. "Board meeting? Not for you. People like you wait outside." His hand clamped her sleeve, squeezing harder than necessary. A few employees nearby gasped, phones lifted discreetly. From behind the desk, the receptionist, Sophia Lee, smirked. "HR is downstairs. Maybe you're lost." Her voice was pitched just loud enough to draw chuckles from two interns leaning near the elevators. Evelyn didn't move. Silence was her shield. Gray mistook it for weakness. "Don't play games. Show me ID before I drag you out." The crowd shifted uncomfortably. A young staffer by a column whispered, "She doesn't look lost." His camera tilted higher, recording. Moments later, manager Derek Vance stormed forward. Tie too sharp, confidence too brittle. His voice carried like a gavel strike. "Executives don't stand in lobbies. Whoever you are, you're holding up real business." He ripped the visitor badge from her lapel and slapped it on the counter so hard it bounced to the floor. Gasps rippled across the marble. Phones swung toward him. Still, Evelyn said nothing. Vance sneered. "Another fraud." The word landed heavy. Sophia folded her arms smugly. "Security's on the way. You've got 5 seconds before you're removed." Gray leaned closer, breath hot, trying to humiliate her in front of the growing audience. "This isn't your space. Do yourself a favor and walk out." Evelyn's stillness unsettled him more than resistance ever could. Her eyes locked forward, unblinking. From the back, someone muttered, "If she were white, she'd already be upstairs." Vance picked up the broken badge and snapped it in two, dropping the pieces into the trash. "You're finished here," he declared. The silence that followed was heavier than any insult. Phones recorded every second. The young staffer swallowed, voice trembling. "I saw her name on the schedule this morning." His words cracked, but the cameras caught them. Vance snapped his head around. "Excuse me. I checked the system," the staffer stammered, then steadied. "Carter, executive clearance, boardroom access." The crowd buzzed. Sophia's smirk faltered. Gray's grip loosened. Vance scoffed. Fresh ire doesn't know protocol. But the murmurs spread faster than denial. Evelyn finally moved, her hands sliding into her pocket, pulling out her phone with calm precision. She lifted it to her ear. "Activate protocol." The entire lobby froze. A clear voice answered through the speaker. "Protocol engaged. All access logged. Corporate notified." Phones tilted higher. Someone whispered, "That's real." Vance's face palled, his authority thinning by the second. "You think calling someone changes anything?" Evelyn lowered the phone slowly. "It changes everything." The guard shifted back, suddenly unsure. Sophia tapped nervously at her keyboard, pretending to summon help. The young staffer raised his chin. "She's not bluffing." A voice from the crowd chimed in. "Prove she's lying. Pull the system." Vance's jaw tightened. "I don't answer to random onlookers." "Then who do you answer to?" Another guest shot back. The murmur swelled into open defiance. The tide had turned. Evelyn finally spoke. Her voice calm but cutting. "Careful." The single word silenced the entire room. Even the chandeliers seemed to dim. Vance's bluster faltered. Sophia's fingers froze above her keyboard. Gray stepped back fully, his hand dropping to his side. Phone streamed live now, red dots glowing like alarms. "You're trespassing," Vance shouted desperately. Fraud, identity scam. Evelyn tilted her head, eyes sharp. Every insult, every threat, every attempt to erase me is logged. Not by me, by them. She gestured toward the crowd. Evelyn paused, her voice calm. I'm here for the board meeting. Gray's lips curled. Board meeting? Not for you. People like you wait outside. His hand clamped her sleeve, squeezing harder than necessary. A few employees nearby gasped. Phones lifted discreetly. From behind the desk, the receptionist, Sophia Lee, smirked. HR is downstairs. Maybe you're lost. Her voice was pitched just loud enough to draw chuckles from two interns leaning near the elevators. Evelyn didn't move. Silence was her shield. Gray mistook it for weakness. Don't play games. Show me ID before I drag you out. The crowd shifted uncomfortably. A young staffer by a column whispered, She doesn't look lost. His camera tilted higher. Recording. Moments later, manager Derek Vance stormed forward. Tie too sharp. Confidence too brittle. His voice carried like a gavel strike. Executives don't stand in lobbies. Whoever you are, you're holding up real business. She lifted her phone again. Initiate termination. Lock credentials. A calm voice replied. Confirmed. Board access revoked. Sophia's badge blinked red. Gray's radio squawked static. Vance's tablet went dark. The crowd roared. She really fired them on the spot. Someone shouted. Vance's face twisted, desperation bleeding through. This isn't legal. Evelyn's eyes narrowed. What's not legal is profiling the owner of this company, tearing her badge, and calling her a fraud in her own lobby. Silence pressed heavy. Phones stayed raised, capturing every second of their collapse. This company deserves better, Evelyn declared, her voice carrying across marble. And starting today, it will have better. The applause swelled, relentless, undeniable. Vance slumped into a chair, hollow. Sophia trembled, her badge blinking red like a scarlet mark. Gray leaned against the wall. No longer protector, just another man exposed. Evelyn slipped her phone into her pocket. The crowd parted as she walked to the elevators, heels clicking like verdicts. At the doors, she turned once, her gaze steady. They thought silence was weakness, but silence is just power waiting for the right moment. The elevator chimed. She stepped inside, leaving a lobby transformed forever. If this story shook you, don't stay silent. Stand with truth and power. Smash that like button. Share this video so the world sees what justice looks like. And drop a comment with where you're watching from and the moment that hit hardest. Subscribe now. Your voice matters.